Hey y'all, we're here today with Cheryl Howell. And so I met Cheryl a little over a year ago, I guess, in Nashville, Tennessee. I didn't know anything about Cheryl, and she happened upon me. We were sitting across the room from each other, and all day long we had we were the two Southern people in the room. And so people were, I think, having to listen a little bit harder to figure out what we were actually saying, but we got it. Like, we connected right off from the bat. But Cheryl is one of our co-authors in our new book called Permission Granted, which launches on July 30th of 2020. And we are also excited. And so we're doing these videos and interviewing our co-authors just to, y'all know me and Tonya, we talk all the time. Y'all probably sick of hearing us talk. But what we want is that we want y'all to feel that we have true friendships with these other ladies in this book with us, and we want you to feel like they're your friends too. So that's what this is all about. Welcome, Cheryl. And that was my intro of you, but if you want to give a little snippet of who you are, that'd be great.
Oh, thank you. And thank y'all so much for this. We're all so excited about this book. I loved you too, Lori, because we were the Southern girls and they needed subtitles. So I love that. But I am a 30-year commercial banker by career. I have 2 children, I'm married, 2 great dogs. I mean, just your typical American, hardworking, go to work every day person. So that's what's beautiful about this book is it brings people from all walks of life to tell their stories in an amazing way. I also live in the South. I live in El Dorado, Arkansas, which is close to where I was born. I'm a Louisiana girl. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome. So let's talk about, Lori and I've talked about kind of our why. Why did you decide that this was the avenue to share your story? What about this book? Why did you decide to do a chapter, Permission Granted?
My journey has gone from the time I was a child actually and didn't even realize it, but all of my life I've had this. When I first started to college after many years of danger, toil, and despair, I was a social work major because I wanted to change the world. I wanted to help people. And I had that longing for a long time to share my story, my life more so than sharing my story, because a lot about my story was not shareable. But I had this passion to want to be able to take it to the next level. And I got involved, like most of us, in the Kenfield community. I went through Train the Trainer, became certified in that program, and there were a lot of things that brought me to that place. But I just felt like it was time to share the story. And I had looked at the project and said, no, I'm not going to do it. And as the universe would have it, things just kind of fell into order. I reached out and inquired to get some information about Permission Granted. And before I know it, Kate had called me. And I'll never forget, I was in the basement of my work and my phone rings and it's Patty. And we're having this hour-long conversation about permission. And she was telling me about it and how, and out of her mouth came the words, this is what this project is about, for women to tell their stories. And I should have just been struck by lightning at the same time, because it was just one of those moments that you knew, okay, this is it, it's time to do it.
Yeah,
that's right. Awesome. So you did decide to do it. So can you tell us the title of your story? And then just a little bit, Tonya and I have shared the intention, why we did this book, why we chose this particular story, because we've all got a million stories, right? What was your intention behind this particular story?
Well, my title, and I think like all of us, to capture the essence of what we're trying to say to others, I wanted the title to mean what the story was and what my journey had been and what the message was I was trying to relate. So the title is Permission to Be Free. And it came about as a result of not only, which is why I inquired into the project to begin with, but I had a friend call me, and been a long time friend, and she called me, we were chatting, but the main purpose of the call was to tell me that she had severe cancer. It's a rare form of cancer, and as far as I know, statistically, no one has survived it over 5 years. And she's rocking on that now, so that's great. But I just immediately started crying, you know, because I'm a crier. And she said these words to me that forever changed me. She said, "Cheryl, do not cry for me. I have no unfinished business." And I still get chills because I had so much unfinished business. It was like God spoke, you know? I mean, it was one of those surreal moments that I realized when you get up from this sofa, you are never going to be the same again. And so when I got up, I wasn't, and I started 100%, and I didn't quit. Not that I hadn't been doing a lot of stuff all my life. As a matter of fact, I've written a course called Get Unstuck, because I know that one because I was stuck so many years. I was stuck between, you know, dreams and desires and living instead of thriving. And so when I made the move after she told me that, and then I went to BTS and trained, you know, the whole story, you know, how our lives go and the path down, you know, where we've been. But this project spoke to me again that this is an avenue for me to be able to share that, you know, the story of freedom, where I've come from and what I've been able to achieve. And it's nothing about me in particular that's so special, but it was just the yearning to be able to relate that freedom and have other, primarily women, but anyone who reads it can overcome anything in their lives and succeed.
Absolutely. And I just got the book, and I have had the pleasure of reading your chapter, and it's amazing. It is real. And I think that it's one of those that really people will identify with in so many different ways. But it's a great title. You're exactly right. And I felt, and that's kind of what I felt like when I put mine down on paper. It's almost like it freed me from that being a burden anymore. And so what a great title. That's awesome. So when we talk a little bit about this too, is permission granted. I think the title itself is one of the reasons I finally got on board after some nudging from Lori, because I'd said no in the beginning too. And I think the title really, to me, resonated. So what is it about permission granted? As far as the title itself, giving yourself permission, what does that mean to you? What does that mean?
Well, I have to tell you, when I thought about that earlier in the week, it means I had to change my thoughts on what my life could be, not just what it is, because we get ourselves caught in, as I said a few minutes ago, the way life is. You know, this is just the way it is. And jumping through so many paradigms that, like with my husband or with my children, you know, and I raised my children on Napoleon Hill, whatever a mind conceive and believe it can achieve, right? But when you put yourself in a place to realize that, you know, what you went through to be a blessing to other people, and that exchange is so important, that I gave myself huge permission to tell the story and to share it. And I think it may be a Southern thing. I don't know, girls, but you know, Southerners are just so honest, right? I mean, or this Southern girl is. I mean, I tell you in love how it is. And that's, and that's the whole purpose of what I want to accomplish, because I want to help people realize that they are responsible for their choices. Oh my gosh. You can give yourself so much permission to create anything in your life. It starts with just a moment in time. Like for me, when I finally just said, I mean, it's like going to church and they have a revival, right? I grew up in church and they'd have a revival once a year, and they have this big 5-day revival, and everybody gets happy and you're going to change your life forever. And then about a month later, everybody's back to the way they were. I mean, it's like we have this way in our mind of I don't know, justifying that we can't keep going forward. We can't keep that step. This is not possible. This is ludicrous. You can't do this. And it is not true. You can. I have proven in my own life that I can create and manifest things in my life that I never thought possible. Never. I never thought I'd be sitting here with you, girl. Let me tell you, this was not something that was on my agenda. I had spreadsheets and loans and net interest margins and efficiency ratios, and I just wasn't one of these woo-woo kind of girls. Like, you can just
Well, welcome to the club, honey.
And we were not either until more recently, last 5 years or so. And listen, join the woo-woo, because it is pretty freaking awesome.
It is. So I guess permission to me is rising above that scared young girl that's in the book.
Yeah.
Rising above all of that, all of the mess and the trauma and the limiting beliefs and all of the things that I allowed to keep me down most of my life. And so, by George, I gave myself permission to overcome all that. And I think it will be something that we work on, because that's what a limiting belief does. It just kind of keeps coming back around. But we have the tools and we know how to deal with it.
Yes.
We know how to get past that. And we're human. But the very essence of our lives and the efforts that we're trying to give to help other people overcome it is so cool. I mean, I get more energy out of that than I ever did a spreadsheet, girls. This is something that is real, and it's simply amazing to be able to contribute in this way.
It's awesome.
Yeah, so you were talking about tools, so that's a great segue as we wrap this up. So what we like to do is, Tonya and I, it's been a journey, and we've been honest about that. It's not happened overnight, but we have gradually made our lives better. And so we try not to overwhelm people who are where we used to be with too much information. And so are there any tools just one tool or tip or something that you could leave the people that are watching this with that really has helped you? That's something easy to do that everybody can do.
Well, it's really, we have all these tools, but it's metaphorical for me. For people who are struggling and who are hurting and feel that they just don't have any hope, that it's almost like the life energy has been sucked out of them. What I would tell them to do is to realize that they are an amazing, beautiful soul. You're breathing air, so you're a living, beautiful soul. Your spirit's correct. You are, you're not able in some ways to be able to see past all of the gunk and the pain. But inside some people, there's this bountiful amount of light and energy, and nothing seems to bother them. But with a person who's dealing with something like this, it's like their little life energy is this little bitty flicker of light inside them. And everybody has it. It's your soul, but it might be burning dimmer than any lighter could ever burn. And I would want people to realize that that little flicker is in there and it is not going away. And what you need to do is you need to take that little flame and you need to wrap your hands around it and realize how precious that flame is, your little life flame. And to guard it and protect it and realize that that little flame can get bigger. And the work that we do, the three of us, that our group of the women in our book, the work that we do, that's what we do. We nurture those flames to grow. We pour gasoline on those things, and they become beautiful fires that not only warm their own soul, but they warm the souls of everybody they come in contact with.
Right.
And they have to hold that flame. They have to hold out that hope, because there are people that will help you. And do not give up. There is nothing and nobody worth your spirit and your little flame in you. So never, ever give up hope that it can grow.
That's awesome. You're exactly right. All right. So anything else? Tell us a little bit about your work as far as website. What we'll do is we'll put it out. So is there anything you would like to leave us with so everybody knows how to get in contact with you?
I have a website that I'm going to be introducing. It's actually live, but it's CherylHowell.com. And I am the adversity coach. I am actually finishing up 2 courses now. It's called Get Angry, which is kind of a little mind twister, but it's very important to get angry before you heal, and get unstuck. And also have a blog where I've written some articles. So it's CherylHowell.com, and then, at Cheryl Howell, the typical Facebook and Instagram, and I'm on both. I'm the adversity coach on Instagram, and my business page for Facebook. So that's it.
Okay. Well, perfect.
I'm pretty excited about the work.
Yes.
I'll never retire. When banking's gone, I'm going headstrong, into this. So
we've got a date
endeavor.
under the trees on Oprah's property someday, don't we, Cheryl?
That's right.
So Cheryl, you said just a second ago that what you believe you can achieve, and we've got this belief that we're going to be sitting under the trees on Oprah's property. So we're just going, all 3 of us, put that out there.
We are. And Lori, I got news for you. It's going to be more than Oprah.
Okay, all right, we'll take that.
I feel so strongly about all of our work, and and I'm pretty partial to all of us. So I think our work is going to have a big impact on the lives of others.
Yeah.
Y'all already have. I mean, y'all are just amazing.
Well, you are too. You made a statement just a minute ago that there's nothing special about you, but I'd say that wasn't quite true, because there is something very special. And I think, your title is perfect for you, the adversity coach. I mean, maybe you were put here to go through all that you've been through so that you can help somebody else. And so that's very special. So I'm just going to call you out. I call Tonya out all the time when she starts talking negative about herself. And we don't talk like that around here, okay?
Well, and I guess that, we're in the habit of, but I want people to know that, because I know I idolized people like Jack Canfield and people for so many years. And gosh, y'all, we're just human beings.
That's right.
We're all just people.
That's right. So I want people to feel comfortable with the fact that it doesn't matter. You don't have to have a title. You don't have to have a pedigree. You don't have to have any money.
No certain upbringing is required to be an amazing person.
Right.
Well, we thank you so much for taking your time to do this with us today. We love you so much, and we're so proud, just proud, I don't know another word, to just be a part of Permission Granted with you. And hopefully what people will see is that we all do have a connection. That's the whole purpose of us doing these videos, is that you are true friends, not just co-authors. You know, we really know you and love you, and we want everybody that sees this to do the same.
All right, guys, so July 30th, 2020, if you're watching this before, which is just a couple of days before, wait till July 30th, then purchase our book, Permission Granted. And if it's after that, then what are you waiting for? Go get it.
That's right. Thanks.
I love you guys too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.